Hey there, I'm Kimberly Ferguson, CEO and founder of Emerald Expectations Accounting, and I'm so happy that you're here. The Emerald Corner is a place where life and business meet, so we want to share with you the process of running a business while maintaining a life with your loved ones. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to handle criticism in your business, but not just criticism, also how to handle rejection in the business world, because let's be honest, that happens a lot. And while there are a lot of similarities with how this might feel compared to how rejection feels in your personal life, in most cases, it really couldn't be more different. One major example of this is when you offer someone your product or service and they criticize what you're offering, or when you offer this to them and they reject it because it's too expensive. Are you prepared for that? To be honest, even if you think you're prepared, it still feels like a gut punch in the stomach the first time you hear it. But does that mean that you should lower your prices? Or does that mean that you should change your offerings? There's really a lot to consider when it comes to that question. So the first thing that I would ask is, are your prices or your offering comparable to the market? And not just the market, but your market. So try to figure out the pricing for similar offerings in the market around your area. You want to be competitive, obviously, but you don't necessarily want to be the least expensive. And as you're just starting out, you definitely don't want to be the most expensive. Then as you begin to grow and you have enough clients to make a living, you can then begin raising your prices because your demand is higher and also your experience is higher. You'll just want to be careful not to do this too soon, or you could risk kind of killing off your business, right? The second thing is, are you able to make a living on those prices? So this one can be a little tricky for a number of reasons, but you really have to keep in mind, you have to use this money to pay your bills, and not just your business bills. You also need to make enough money to pay your personal bills, and the big one, to pay your federal, state, and local taxes. So it's not as simple as to say, well, when I did this job, I made $30 an hour, so that's what I'm going to charge, because it's not a simple equation like I make $30, I take home $30. It's more like I make $30 an hour, I take home $10 an hour. So can you live off of $10 an hour? Would you take that job? So there's a lot to consider with that. A third question that I would ask is, are you a good closer? Right? In the beginning, when you're trying to sell your product or service, it's pretty normal to close, 1 out of 10 deals, maybe even less. That alone doesn't mean that your prices are too high or that you're not offering enough value. It might just mean that you need more practice at selling. This is especially true if you've never had a sales job before. As a small business owner, your primary job is sales, especially in the beginning, right? Because if you're not making money, you really don't have a business, right? But something else you want to keep in mind is that if you're getting 10 yeses from 10 sales pitches, this also could be an indicator that your prices are actually too low. But we'll talk about that in another video. So a fourth question is, do you value this person's opinion? One particular saying comes to mind when it comes to this question, and that is, don't take criticism from people who you would not go to for advice. So if someone says that you're not offering a good product or service, keep this in mind and keep this quote in mind. If you continue to hear it over and over again from multiple customers, then what I would recommend doing is go to someone whose advice you would take and get their opinion on the service or product. If they agree, then you can discuss how you might want to tweak your offering to make it more valuable. I wouldn't necessarily change your pricing unless that person that you're speaking with is someone in your industry who does something similar to you or who does the same thing as you, and they're familiar with the processes and the value of what you're offering. But I would consider, tweaking what you're offering exactly and seeing if there are ways that you could add more value to make the value of your offering align a little bit better with the pricing that you have set. Lastly, I want you to remember the biggest difference between rejection in your personal life and rejection in your business, and that is that it's not personal. I know that's hard. But when someone rejects you or criticizes you in your personal life, they're speaking about you as an individual. But when they reject your offering, they're rejecting your business. They're saying that either they don't see the value in it, or they cannot afford it, or perhaps that they just don't get it. But either way, it's not rejecting you. This can be the hardest lesson to learn in business, but it's vital for your success. Just because someone doesn't see the value in what you're offering, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with it. It's kind of like finding friends or finding a spouse in real life, and that is that not everyone is going to see your value, and that's okay. And so not everybody's going to see the value in what you're offering, but that doesn't mean it's not valuable. Well, what do you think? Does any of this advice help you kind of reframe how you see the criticism and rejection in your business? Do you have any other advice that you'd like to share? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video.